5 years old. This is her first time to Madison County, so we made sure we wanted to bring her. So she's going to be here with us, so thank you. You just wait. Here, wait right here with me. She was asking me, like, her brother's name is Mason. She's like, what about Mason County? I'm like, Florida, we just don't have it. We do have a Madison County. So we're really excited to be here. We have a great announcement today, and we'll be doing some financial awards for a few communities in North Florida, but obviously wanted to come here to Madison County to be able to do the one that'll be in this county. I have our DEO Secretary, Dane Eagle, is here with me, who's been really helping us do a lot. We have Representative Schoaf, Payne, and Brannon that are here. Senator Jennifer Bradley is here. And then we have Shamiria Roberson, who was our Deputy Health Secretary for 2 years and is a native of Madison County. So we want to thank Shamiria. You know, you look around, like Florida, we're in really good shape. I think we're in the legislative session. I got to make sure these guys come through with some of the stuff that I'll be saying, but we're going to end up with a really massive budget surplus. A lot of people didn't think that a couple years ago. We lead the nation in new business formations, and the business formations in Florida are up 61% just since I became governor in 2019. And so you see that, and you see a lot of energy and a lot of dynamism that's going on. In fact, we had in 2021 114,000 more new businesses than California, but California is almost twice our size. And so that's showing you that we've got a lot of good stuff going on. 2021 was the record in Florida's history for domestic tourism in terms of people coming to Florida. And so you see that's right. But it's true. People know no one wants to travel internationally because you got to get tested and all this. And just think about it. You may get caught in a foreign country. They do one of these PCR tests. They find dead virus from like a month ago. You're not even sick, contagious. And then what? You have to isolate for 2 weeks in a foreign country. So people don't want to go through the hassle, but they also know that not every place in America can you just go and live like a free person. Some places will discriminate against you based on your medical history. Other places will impose mandates, restrictions. And they know in Florida, you're going to be in a
there's one in particular that's going to be on the floor this week.
Want to do it. So yes, we had almost 120 million Americans escape from Fauciville to come to free Florida. So yes. And we're really excited about being here today. We've put a big emphasis on support for infrastructure in our rural communities. The way I view it is a lot of times, that can go an awful long way. You can bring some stuff to certain parts of Florida, and that could be helpful. But we really have made a big impact across the board in what we've been able to do to a lot of counties, particularly our counties in North Florida, but really throughout the state. So today, we're going to be awarding $11 million for rural communities throughout North Florida. Through our Rural Infrastructure Fund, we are awarding $300,000 right here to Madison County to engineer and design. They're going to engineer and design water and sewer infrastructure extension, creating future opportunities for business growth in the town of Greenville. And so a lot of times that infrastructure you really need to have. We also have $340,000 to the city of Palatka and Putnam County to expand a lift station and extend services to a business park, also creating future opportunities for business growth. And through the Community Development Block Grant Program, we're awarding $5 million to Suwannee County for a new multi-use building and $5 million to the city of Palatka to widen paths and sidewalks in and around the downtown commercial area. So these are going to be impactful projects. It's going to make a difference. And what we've seen is when we do certain things like provide some foundational infrastructure, a lot of times you're able to see opportunities develop. I mean, for example, we've had places in Florida, they have like these industrial parks. but they don't have the necessary roads linking the park to where they need to go. Then once you do that, then you start to get all this interest of people wanting to come and make things in Florida. And one of the things we're really focused on is we do want to make more things in the United States, but particularly in Florida. I'm sick of getting all this stuff from China. And so we've put a huge emphasis on technical and career education and preparing people to enter skilled trades. For example, we've done more in Florida over the last year than any state to expand the ability to get truck driver licenses with these commercial drivers. And what they're doing is you go and you have that. The demand is so intense now, they're giving these young drivers $15,000 signing bonuses to be able to drive trucks. You look at the salaries that they're getting in welding and HVAC and all these other things. I mean, these are real significant jobs, and there's going to continue to be a demand for them. You know, you look at all the problems that we're seeing with this inflation that's happening. You know, Biden comes in and they spend and borrow trillions of dollars. What do you think is going to happen? You can't just do that without consequence. So this is a really significant, sustained, rampant inflation, and we have not seen anything like this since the late 70s and early 1980s. But, you know, they say it's 7.5%. It's much higher than that for the things that really matter. It's much higher for gas and other energy. It's much higher for things like food. It's much higher for the things that people need to do business. Like, think about the people trying to build homes now. How much does it cost to get all this stuff? It's way, way more expensive. And that was really a predictable consequence of printing all this money. And so it was a huge mistake. And then you see the supply chain disrupted, partially because you've had all these COVID restrictions that have been very arbitrary and harmful. So what we've done in Florida is say, okay, you know, this is obviously not a problem of our creating, but we want to be part of the solution. So we've expanded what can come into our ports in Florida. So you look at a lot of these ports, they're up 10, 15% just in the last couple months, when we said some of these ships that are off these coasts have been rerouted to Florida to be able to get the goods here and to get the stuff to our stores. So we're going to continue doing that. You know, we've invested a lot of money in that infrastructure, but it's very important. But when that stuff comes in, you know, there's really two things you could do. You could put it on a train, you could put it on a truck, and we're going to have more people that are going to be able to do the trucking. And you look at how horribly these people are being treated in Canada. You see, everyone takes for granted people that are doing things like driving these trucks. But if they don't do it, or there's not enough people to do it, man, the whole economy can really be brought down to its knees. So we're excited that we're really have been part of the solution on getting people. And look, our state university system is ranked number 1 in the country for 5 straight years, and we don't let them raise tuition. So you can actually go to a 4-year college and not be $100,000 in debt, which I think is something that's important. So we're proud of that, and there's a lot of people that have done well with it, and there are a lot of people that will continue to do well with it. But it's not true that you can't be successful unless you go down that one path of a 4-year university, because what's happened is they've told these kids this for a long time. They told me this when I was a kid. And yes, some people will go, and if you go to MIT and you're an engineer and you go $100,000 in debt, you're probably going to be all right. But if you go to some other university and get a degree in zombie studies and end up $100,000 in debt, and then you may end up in a job you could have had at a high school anyways. And so what we're just trying to tell people is, look, there's a lot of different ways you can be successful. And a 4-year brick and ivy university is not the only way you can be successful. And quite frankly, for many people, it's not the best way you can be successful. And what we've seen over the past, particularly 5 or 10 years, you have kids coming out of high school. They'll have certifications in some of these. Maybe they do some additional training, and then they're making $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 by the time they're like 20 years old. And then some of them in things like HVAC and electrical, they can then start their own business if they want to and do even better. And so compare that with no debt to somebody that is deep in debt with a degree that's not really doing much, and then they end up in jobs that are really on the lower scale with all that debt. So it's not a good thing. So what we've just told people is, there's a bunch of different ways you could be successful. You're not any better or worse because you go to this or that. And let's let people realize that there's a lot of fantastic opportunities out there in a variety of these different, particularly with the skilled trades right now. So we've already been able to attract more manufacturing in Florida. I talked to other companies in a variety of industries. And yes, we have lower taxes. Yes, we have a good business climate. I mean, unfortunately for us, a lot of people want to be here, so the real estate's more expensive than some of these other states. But they do like a lot of that. But when I tell them what we're doing on workforce education, they light up because nobody is doing it. So if you have a big company that wants to come down to build things, not only will we continue doing what we're doing, we can even craft special programs to be able to help those. And so that is what you want, where anyone in these communities will be able to stay in Florida and be able to work in a variety of capacities. And so we've been able to do with our Job Growth Grant Fund some really significant things that have had huge impact already. We're not done yet. We're going to keep doing it. But our goal is to be, when I became governor, we were in the bottom half of states for workforce education. And my goal is by 2030, Florida will be #1 for workforce education. So we're on our way. And we're wanting to do more. And so we've done $62 million over the last, I'd say probably 9 months in job growth grant. And again, that's job training infrastructure, either one of those. We've also done $800 million in the CDBG block grant infrastructure and planning programs statewide. Local communities apply for it. They're vetted on criteria. And then we come in and make the awards. So what we're trying to do for this year's budget is build off our success. We want another $100 million for the Rural Infrastructure Fund, another $100 million for the Job Growth Grant Fund, and $100 million for the Workforce Development Capitalization Incentive Grant. And so those will be able to be tools. We'll be able to continue a lot of the success that we're able to have. So I'm excited to be here. This is just the beginning of what we're doing. We're going to be doing a lot more, particularly over the next 6 to 9 months and beyond. So we really, really appreciate y'all having us here today. We're going to hear from some other speakers. So I think we've got So we've got Jen Bradley, we've got the 3 reps, and then we have Dane Eagle, and then we'll make the awards. Or actually, yeah, we'll speak, and no, we'll present the checks now. So we'll present the checks. All right. So Shamiriel, you come here. Madison, why don't you stand in front here? Stand over here with me and hold the check. Can you hold the check? Hold it up. Okay, everyone's going to take a picture. Look at the camera.